Good morning, good evening, good day, good times to you. Codger Biker here. Yesterday I lost a bloody battery while I was out, so I'm going back to see if I can find it. Forlorn hope. They're about 30 quid each, and yesterday I won 30 quid on the lottery. What the universe gives, the universe takes away. Anyway, why did I choose the CB500X over the Transalp or the T7 or any other bike? I've been asked, here's my answer. Well, first up, I had been looking forward to an XL 750 for years. In fact, in my first review of the CB500X in 2019, I spent most of my time talking about how I'd love a XL 750. And lo and behold, this year the Transalp came out, which I believe is called an XL 750, but it wasn't quite what I had in mind at the time, truth be told. But nevertheless, I was very excited by it, by the prospect of it. So I suppose really I should have bought one, shouldn't I? Or am I a hypocrite? But I spent 1 year of my life as a tyre fitter when I was younger, and you see all sorts of things when you work in a garage, particularly where tyres are involved. And the one thing that I would not accept anymore on a road bike or an off-road bike that you have to take on the road are tubeless tyres. I just won't accept it. So there's no tubeless version of the Transalp yet. There may be next year or the year after, but my big birthday's this year, so that was the number one reason. And people might say, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, it does to me. I live on a country full of smart motorways with nowhere to go if you get an explosive blowout from an inner tube. It's okay if you're on country lanes and things. It's okay also if you're using it on fire trails and things where you can just pull over and fix a puncture. But I don't really want to be doing that anymore, fixing punctures anyway. I like to be able to plug and go. Generally with a tubeless tyre, that's what you can do. Done it many times. Seem to get more punctures these days than ever, probably because of all this building work that's going on everywhere. So I was not prepared to accept tubed tyres anymore, just not. It's my choice. Other people can do it if they want, and I know you can buy wheels, but that's another £2,000. I've done that once with my 690, so yeah. At this point in time, it wasn't acceptable for my big birthday present. My big birthday is in April. So even if I'd ordered a Transalp, I don't think I could have had it by April anyway. But the main thing was actually the tyres, believe it or not. The wheels, should I say. A second reason is that, as I just mentioned, I have a 690 Enduro R, which kept me sane during the many lockdowns we had in the UK. Particularly in the city I live in, we seem to be having them constantly for a time, and had that bike in the kitchen, modifying it to suit my needs, got it just so, been out and ridden it. As I said, a lightweight and local bike, so the idea was that because we couldn't go far, I'd enjoy what I could locally, and it's been such a terrific bike. I love it. And to have even got a Transalp, I would have had to have Part X that. I don't really want to let it go. I'm so sentimental. He's sulking in the garage at the moment, doesn't know I'm out. He thinks I've put him away for winter. Don't tell him. It's okay, Wolfgang, go back to sleep. Still winter. Okay. Are you sure? Yeah, still winter. Night. So for me to have given up the 690, I'd have had to have had a perfect bike, and I just don't think there is one. The closest is the Aprilia Touareg for me, but there's no dealerships around here, and yeah, it's a new bike. So which leads me on to my third reason, which is early adopting. If I'd early adopted the Transalp, as I early adopted the Africa Twin, the 790 Duke, the 790 Adventure, each time I've ended up with problems. My original Africa Twin, or the reboot, the spokes corroded away, and they were tubed tyres, tubed wheels. They corroded away and eventually were replaced under warranty, but it was such a pain. You didn't know if you were going to get them done or not, and there was all sorts of, you know, claims and counter claims, which kind of spoilt that bike, which I love that bike so much, but it was too heavy for me to pick up, and the wheels were just the final straw. So I got myself a 790 Duke, which was brilliant, but then KTM replaced that pretty quickly with the 890 Duke, which is a damn nuisance. You feel like you're a beta tester for the engine, and then they decide to improve it. Same with the 790 Adventure. I loved that bike, but it had problems with the TFT, which are never resolved. It also had problems with the front discs, which warped. They were replaced. Coolant pipes which weren't tightened up. No big deal, but it wasn't an unreliable bike. I won't accept that. People say they're unreliable. It wasn't unreliable at all. It always went. It's just had niggles. The main one being the TFT, which was replaced 3 times under warranty, and it was exactly the same each time. You just got condensation inside it. So bad some days I couldn't see the information on it. And once the warranty had run out, that had been over to me. So I traded that in for a 690 Enduro R, which was a bike with a long history of development, and I researched it as best I could. That means looking on the internet, and discovered that the main problem with that bike was the clutch slave cylinder at the time had a fault that hadn't been addressed for generations, but there were fixes out there when you could buy. So I bought that bike and I changed that, and it's been very, very reliable. Never had an issue with it, and I love that 690 Enduro R. And unfortunately, due to financial constraints, he would have had to go if I got a Transalp. So I wanted something to mark my big birthday. I thought, I've been around this star that number of times, I deserve something. So I chose this, and I have no regrets at all. I'm still getting to know the bike. I really like it. So that is why I chose a CB500X over a Transalp, over T7, over a Touareg, or any other twin cylinder adventure bike out there. No inner tubes for me, thank you, and I want something with a bit of history of development before I put any more money into new motorcycles. So far I'm loving this bike, no regrets at all. Does everything I want in terms of a road bike, and I have bought it as a road bike. I'm not going to be rally raiding it in any way. I've got a 690 Enduro R, which is perfect for off-road. This is my road bike. I hope that is an explanation. Not that I owe you an explanation. As much as anything, it's an explanation to myself. Oh, so this is where I pulled over yesterday to change my camera battery, and I forgot to put the old battery away. Rode off with it still on the back of the bike. Yeah, well, it's an adventure bike. I meant to get a bit muddy. Will still be here. It's Enduro battery as well, white. So I was just here 24 hours ago. Let's have a look. Not even splattered in the middle of the road. Well, as I say, those batteries are about £30 each. Before I set out in the morning, it said good news about your lottery ticket, so I thought I'll check that when I get back. Now I wonder if I'd checked it in the morning whether it would have been £2, but because I lost my battery, which cost about £30, it changed by the laws of the universe to a £30 win. Oh well, two ways to look at that, isn't there? Either it's fortunate that I won the £30 I need to replace the battery, or I've won £30 and then lost it instantly because I've lost the battery. Here you go. Quantum mechanics. And on that note, Codger Biker, like my battery, is out. You get a nice little burble on this bike as you throttle down. 399 still. 399. Thank you. 399. It's a long mile, this. $400. I didn't see it actually change, so I was watching that car. There you go, 400 miles. Okay, well into the running period. According to the manual, 300 miles is when you're supposed to take it easy, but you get the first service at 600, so I always consider the first service to be the running in, because, well, the oil might have bits of metal in it. Unlike, it's got a big oil filter on the front of it, but you know, just in case. We shall ride, I was going to say conservatively, but they're all nutters. I'm going to ride sensibly.